Hello world, it's Maria again. Thanks for visiting my channel. Oh my gosh, I feel like every time I'm in these videos I'm fixing my bag. But they're getting longer, so I'm trying to make it look good. Anyway, two thoughts came for me today. Two things I had to remind myself. One being the understanding that the idea of law of attraction manifestation is not as hard as it may seem. And the best way that I can describe it, at least for myself, is that when people say you are your manifestation, or you're not separate from the things that you're trying to manifest, or the thing that you're seeking is not outside of you, all of these things are so true. But very rarely people explain why this phenomenon is true and how we can apply that. And how I would describe it is we have, as human beings, this conscious power of shifting our vibrational field. So energetically, as energetic being, we have the ability to consciously choose a vibration that we want to embody and exude and feel. And if we understand that everything is vibration and understand that we're actually not seeking the external things that we're looking for, we're seeking the feeling of having them, then understanding that we can actually feel that now. We can do that through visualization. We could do that by consciously just channeling energy into our body through meditation. Like, there are ways that we can create that feeling within ourselves in order to align to that vibration and thus feel what we are actually seeking to feel within ourselves. Thus, unattaching ourselves from the physical outside of ourselves, allowing the ease of what we actually desire to come in, which is the irony, because then because we've already cultivated that within ourselves, we actually don't care as much. Anyway, something I needed to remind myself of today is that I have the power to choose how I feel. I have the power to choose how I feel and to align myself with the reality that I'm wanting to create now. I can do that now. I can feel that. Sometimes it's really hard to remember that. Actually, I want to say it's easy to remember that. It's hard to feel worthy of creating the space and creating the time to do that practice. Something that I know about myself is physically showing up for myself in ways of creating space for myself and creating time for myself and creating that becomes really difficult for me because I don't always know how to move alignment with myself. Something that I know about myself is that when I'm not in a good aligned place, feeling in flow, feeling really good in connection to myself, I neglect to create space for myself. I neglect to create space for my creativity, for centering myself, all of these practices that I really love and feel good to me, I forget and have a hard time showing up for myself. But I know that when I do those things, that's when I open up the space for me to connect to these feelings that I want to feel. And yeah, so that was one thing that I needed to remind myself of today, is that I actually can and have the power to create what I desire now, and I'm not having to wait for some sort of external circumstance to experience it or to manifest it, because I can have it now. The second thing is something actually that also just came to my mind is something that I'm learning about myself is more about how I want to be loved and feeling worthy of that and feeling worthy of asking for that. I don't know if that's something you're going through, but I'm learning for me that's something that I really love is I feel uncomfortable when I'm opening up to somebody and they're reiterating what I have said back, like what I've said to them. They're reiterating that back to me. I'm learning more about how I like to be loved in the sense of I want people to want to get to know me rather than just reiterating things that I've said back to me or validating things that I feel. I feel like I really value people who get curious about my feelings or get curious about why I am the way that I am. That's very much when I feel the most loved, is when people get curious about me. The irony of this is that I didn't always enjoy people asking. I didn't really know what to tell them and I felt really uncomfortable. But I'm learning how to create safety in those conversations and why that makes me feel loved, and understanding that having people that are curious about me makes me feel like they want to get to know me. Like they actually desire to get to know me. They're not just doing it to do it. And then the other part of it is like when people just echo back to me things that I've said to them, I definitely feel heard and understood, but it just falls flat because I don't really know how to respond to that. Like it just, oh, like that's great, thanks. Like there's a part of me that loves responding and like building on being able to share more about myself. And I'm obviously learning to cultivate more safety in that. That was also interesting. That's come up a few times in the past few weeks. Anyway, the second thing that I have been thinking about and reminding myself of is there's when you get to a place of choice in your life where you're like choosing between two different outcomes and you know that both are going to feel uncomfortable. I've noticed how many times I've chose to feel uncomfortable in the way that is the most common for myself. Like, I rather be uncomfortable and staying still than uncomfortable and moving forward. And currently, I'm consciously choosing to try and be more aware of choosing to move forward in discomfort rather than the discomfort of staying still or in the same pattern. And just witnessing that both are going to be uncomfortable. One will feel more uncomfortable because you've never done it before. That's the one that I'm trying to really embrace at this moment, is the one that feels even more uncomfortable, but even more exciting, even more scary, even fun. But yeah, it's not as easy as people make it sound all the time, because when you are like me, and one of the things that you're trying to strengthen about yourself is the way that you show up for yourself and the trust that you have in not abandoning yourself, it becomes a really tricky balance to understand that, yes, I am uncomfortable, and no, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to keep going because I want this outcome and I'm okay being uncomfortable. Like just that narrative of I'm still here for you, I'm not going anywhere, like telling myself that and that internal dialogue. But if you're going through a choice right now and both feel super uncomfortable and one feels really uncomfortable because you've never done it before, I'm going to encourage you to do that one, because I feel like, I want to see you succeed. I know you want to see yourself succeed in something new. And yes, it's going to be way more out of your comfort zone in terms of the challenge that it's going to create in your internal belief system. But all you have to do is choose every day, and it's going to be a practice. Like, it's not going to come easy. Like, I'm thinking about, like, one way that I do show up for myself pretty consistently is I go to the gym a lot. But that's something now that I just do automatically. But it was a practice at first. Like, it wasn't something that, like, came naturally to me. And I'm thinking of choosing the lifestyle and choosing what I want and what I know is going to feel good in the long term. Like, that, I'm looking at that as my new challenge. of like continuously choosing to go and do and show up for myself in this way, even though it feels extremely uncomfortable. Because the contrast of that is also discomfort, but in a way that's like suffocating my soul. But that's where I'm at. And those are the thoughts that I've been having today. So I don't know how that serves you. I hope it does. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please leave a thumbs up. I appreciate you just supporting my process and my journey. I word vomit a lot, and today is just one of those days. So I'm sending you so much love, and I will talk to you soon.